Hi guys, Marcus here, and in today's bonus video, we're talking what are Chinese costume dramas and why are they so popular? Now whether you're a long-time follower of my channel or if you're just stopping by for the first time, you probably already have some idea of what the answer is. But whatever the case may be, I hope you enjoy the ride as we dive into this topic. From epic sword fights to palace intrigue, immortal love stories to dynastic tragedies, Chinese costume dramas have captured the hearts of millions worldwide. But what exactly are they? Why are they dominating streaming charts? And how do subgenres like Wuxia, Xianxia, and imperial harem dramas differ? In this video, we'll break down the fascinating world of Chinese costume dramas, how they work, why they resonate, and which ones change the game. Chinese costume dramas, known in Mandarin as guzhuangju, are historical or pseudo-historical television series where characters dressed in traditional Chinese clothing. While some are set in real dynasties like Tang or Qing, others invent entirely fictional realms. What binds them together is their period aesthetic: flowing robes, intricate hairstyles, imperial palaces, and ancient etiquette. These dramas aren't just about history, they mix romance, martial arts, fantasy, political intrigue, and moral dilemmas into sweeping cinematic storytelling. Chinese costume dramas often blend philosophy, mythology, and cultural values unique to Chinese civilization. Within the costume drama genre, there are a few subgenres. We'll begin with one of its more popular ones, the Wuxia genre. Wuxia literally translates to martial hero, so a Wuxia drama really means a drama that features martial heroes. And although martial heroes can exist in any time period, for example, Batman and Spider-Man are technically martial heroes, when we say Wuxia, we generally refer to martial heroes in ancient China. Let's examine my favorite Wuxia drama, 2015's Nirvana and Fire. Nirvana and Fire tells the story of a brilliant strategist who helps an unfavored prince battle for the throne. For those of you who are thinking of watching it, the synopsis I just told is an oversimplified and spoiler-free version. The actual story is way more complex and layered. And it currently has a 9.4 average rating from almost 900,000 ratings on Douban, one of the highest for a costume drama. Nirvana and Fire is considered a Wuxia drama because it has all its elements: swordsmen, battles, and Jianghu, which I will get to later. But it also has one unique trait that makes it stand out from other Wuxia dramas. Its protagonist is actually not a Wuxia or a martial hero. Mei Changshu, expertly portrayed by Hu Ge, is not a martial arts expert. On the contrary, he's weak and brittle and is constantly sick. Where his strength lies is in his brilliant mind. So what are some of the elements of Wuxia dramas? Well, there are many. Elements of fantasy, such as the use of magic powers and appearance of supernatural beings, are very common. Romance is another one that's a recurring element. Although these elements are constant in Wuxia dramas, they're not requisites. The only requisite is the martial arts element. In other words, the characters must know some form of martial art, and it has to be a reasonably important part of the story. So when you look at a drama like, say, The Story of Minglan, it is a costume drama, but it's not from the Wuxia genre. Similarly, a drama like Rui's Royal Love in the Palace, which deals mainly with inner palace schemes and machinations, is an historical drama, but not Wuxia. The concept of Jianghu is ever present in Wuxia dramas. Jianghu literally translates to lakes and rivers, and in Wuxia dramas, it refers to the martial arts world or the pugilistic world. So in Wuxia dramas, there's always the stuff that happens in the palace. There's the emperor and his royal subjects, and outside of the palace walls, there are the commoners. Then there's a separate world where martial artists roam, and they distance themselves from the government. They have their own set of rules and their own way of life. Instead of getting involved with politics, they go around living by their code, performing righteous deeds and solving problems and stuff like that. Next, there's the Xianxia subgenre. While Wuxia translates to martial hero, Xianxia translates to immortal hero. In a nutshell, it's fantasy meets Taoism, with a healthy side of magical cultivation, spiritual ascension, demons, and celestial love stories. Or more simply, if the drama has immortals or demons flying around in the air shooting lasers, or if it has a romance that lasts hundreds or thousands of years, it's more than likely a Xianxia. Now, there's this perception that's been in the Chinese entertainment industry for a while now, and it's that serious actors, or actors who want to be taken seriously, will kind of stay away from the Xianxia genre because it's not seen as a so-called serious genre. You'll rarely see any Xianxia dramas or its actors pick up any of those prestigious awards like the Magnolia, the Feitian, or the Golden Eagle. And it is, of course, very subjective. After all, Xianxia is a genre that many people love, and the numbers are proof of that. 2017's Eternal Love, also known as 3 Lives, 3 Worlds, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, is one of the most iconic Xianxia dramas of all time. Starring Yang Mi and Mark Chow, the series tells an epic romance that spans 3 lifetimes between a fox spirit goddess and a heavenly crown prince. Within a year and a half of its release, Eternal Love amassed over 50 billion views. It is the most viewed Chinese drama ever. How can it have 50 billion views when there's only 8 billion people in the world? Well, how they calculate is that each view per episode is considered 1 view. The drama had 58 episodes, so one person viewing the entire drama once counts for 58 views. One person absolutely loving the drama and viewing it 10 times, well, that's 580 views. Eternal Love became a cultural phenomenon, dominating social media trends, inspiring countless fan-made edits, and spawning adaptations including a popular spin-off, 2020's Eternal Love of Dream starring Dilraba and Vengo Gao, and multiple mobile games and merchandise lines. Beyond China, it gained massive popularity in Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. It also found global audiences on Netflix, Viki, and YouTube. Fans were drawn to its dreamlike world building, stunning visual effects, poetic dialogue, and the fated love between celestial beings. Its success also set a benchmark for future Xianxia productions, raising the standard for costume design, CGI, and romantic storytelling in fantasy dramas. Next, there's Gongdou, the palace intrigue or imperial harem subgenre as some know it as. These dramas focus on the battles between concubines, empresses, and oftentimes eunuchs within the Forbidden City. It's like Game of Thrones within the inner palace, with backstabbing, manipulation, and survival in a gilded cage. 2018's Story of Yanxi Palace with Wu Jingyan and Nie Yuan wasn't just a hit, it was a bit of a cultural juggernaut. Set during the reign of Emperor Qianlong in the Qing dynasty, it follows Wei Yingluo, a bold and clever maid who enters the palace to investigate her sister's death. She eventually climbs the ranks to become a powerful consort. Unlike most imperial harem dramas where the heroine suffers quietly, Yingluo fights back, strategically, mercilessly, and with unmatched wit. The series racked up over 15 billion views on iQIYI, and even more through syndication across Asia. It was the most Googled TV series in the world in 2018, beating out Western shows like Game of Thrones. A considerable feat, considering there's no Google in China. Its popularity wasn't just about plot twists or lavish costumes, though both were outstanding. The drama resonated globally for several reasons, like a strong, proactive female lead who subverted the typical damsel trope, and sharp writing and political intrigue that went beyond soap opera conventions. In China, its success helped redefine the palace intrigue genre. It also helped iQIYI expand its international reach, becoming one of their cornerstone exports. And the last thing I want to touch on for subgenres is the dynasty-specific subgenre like your Qing, Tang, and Song. So we know that not all Chinese costume dramas fall under fantasy or martial arts. Many are deeply rooted in specific historical dynasties, depicting real historical figures. These dynasty-specific dramas take their audiences on a trip through time. They pay incredible attention to detail in architecture, court protocols, philosophy, and attire. The Qing dynasty between 1644 and 1912 is one of the most commonly portrayed periods. Other than Story of Yanxi Palace, 2018's Rui's Royal Love in the Palace depicts life inside the Forbidden City during the reign of Emperor Qianlong as well. Dramas like these often have themes revolving around imperial hierarchy, inner court struggles, and loyalty versus ambition, with women battling for power in a rigid patriarchal world. Then there's the Tang Dynasty between 618 and 907, known as a golden age of art, poetry, and cosmopolitanism. It is an era often depicted with rich visual palettes and sophisticated storytelling. One standout is 2019's The Longest Day in Chang'an, a historical thriller set during the Lantern Festival, where a former constable races to prevent a terrorist attack in the capital. There is the Song Dynasty between 960 and 1279. Dramas in this period tend to focus more on bureaucracy, intellectualism, and court debates. A good example is 2020's Serenade of Peaceful Joy, which portrays Emperor Renzhong's emotional and political struggles. The success of Chinese costume dramas isn't just critical or cultural, it's measurable in jaw-dropping numbers. As mentioned earlier, Eternal Love hit 50 billion cumulative views in China in a relatively short period of time. That means it was being watched and rewatched continuously across phones, computers, and smart TVs. Its success helped establish Xianxia as a commercial goldmine and launched a wave of high-concept fantasy dramas. Then there's Princess Agent, which also came out in 2017. Starring Zhao Liying as a slave-turned-warrior, this drama blended palace intrigue with battlefield survival. It reached over 40 billion views and became one of the most searched Chinese dramas online, particularly across Southeast Asia. Its cliffhanger ending sparked fan petitions, spin-off demands, and intense debate over unresolved plot threads. The aforementioned Story of Yanxi Palace reached 15 billion views on iQIYI alone. 2019's The Untamed, starring Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, became a viral phenomenon, both domestically and internationally. It wasn't just watched, it was celebrated with subtitles in 30+ languages, millions of views on YouTube fan edits, and huge streaming success on Netflix, WeTV, and Viki. It was licensed to over 190 countries and trended on Twitter globally. A big reason for these view counts is that China's domestic audience is massive. With over 1.4 billion people and platforms like Tencent Video and iQIYI reaching hundreds of millions of active users, it's common for popular shows to receive hundreds of millions of views per episode. On top of that, viewers often rewatch their favorite episodes multiple times, especially when the plot is complex or emotionally intense. So why are Chinese costume dramas popular? Beyond the big numbers and flashy costumes, Chinese costume dramas succeed because they tap into something deeper, a mix of spectacle, emotional resonance, and cultural identity. They are pure visual escapism. Audiences are transported into a world of ancient beauty, majestic mountains, ethereal moonlit gardens, heavenly palaces, and elaborate silk robes. For viewers exhausted by modern life, this return to an idealized ancient world can be deeply comforting. They also offer emotional catharsis and romantic longing. Costume dramas are known for delivering emotional intensity, especially in romance. They explore devotion across lifetimes, self-sacrifice, unspoken longing, and tragic fate. love in these dramas are often poetic, restrained, and incredibly powerful. Take Eternal Love, where the two leads fall in love, lose each other, and fall in love again over 3 different lifetimes. Or Nirvana and Fire, where loyalty to a dead friend outweighs all other desires. Viewers may also be drawn to the many strong female characters that lead costume dramas, or their cultural identity or timeless philosophy in them. For Chinese audiences, these dramas are also a way to reconnect with ancestral culture, Confucian values, and Taoist or Buddhist philosophy. For international audiences, this represents an alternative worldview. It's not just about good versus evil, but about duty versus emotion, face versus truth, karma versus free will. Whether you're drawn to sword fights, celestial lovers, or palace power plays, Chinese costume dramas offer something rich, complex, and emotionally stirring. With billions of views and rising global fandoms, they've become more than entertainment, they're a cultural force. Let us know your favorite Chinese costume drama in the comments. And if you're new to the genre and looking for something to start with, you can check out the ones I mentioned in this video: Eternal Love, Nirvana and Fire, Yanxi Palace, or The Untamed. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think might be interested. See you next time.